In Germany, for example, you could find today a new section of an autobahn being directly permitted above an existing mineral deposit. It sounds incredible, it sounds ridiculous, but it's still perfectly possible. There is not an integration, particularly at a state or Länder level in Germany today. Incomprehensible. We need to, as I said, there will be further, I won't labour upon points that Maria has already made, but we need to address the consequences of what we do. We need to talk in terms of waste management and the remediation of existing sites. As I said, revisions to regulatory frameworks, improvements of data, and maintenance of our leadership in technology in all aspects of managing our resources. Everything from exploration to recycling to redesign and recovery. We need to diversify our resources in the European Union if we are to retain our position as the leading market in the world today. The vision for 2030 is that we would have only high-tech mines in place in Europe, that our technology will be proven and be continued to be exported, that we would optimize value of our available resources, that we would increase recycling, recovery, and reuse, and that we would improve marginal efficiency. There are some very simple examples. A ProMine project has been widely contributed to by Greek entities. The idea of getting a better understanding of what our mineral resources actually are in Europe, and to develop better exploitation and modern, efficient mineral processing and recovery methods. We talk a lot about sustainable growth, and that can only be expressed in the context of the environment. We have the highest environmental standards in the world in the European Union. The issue we always face is how they are interpreted and implemented. We need to ensure that best practiced and best available technology is actually given meaning. We need to see that mine site rehabilitation is foreseen from the beginning of projects. What we produce stays in our society. It is recyclable in many instances, but recycling today, the circular economy, does not exist. It may exist in the future. We cannot recycle everything. We cannot remotely recycle enough. So the idea that recycling is an alternative to primary production is a fallacy. It does not exist. If we want to stop mining in Europe, that may be a choice that the European citizens and governments eventually make. It will simply mean that the raw materials we need will be imported from other countries. I see a smile developing on the Canadian ambassador's face as a result of that. So I hope that your country continues with its marvellous progress. Our growth in terms of mining's contribution has to be inclusive. We are long-term investors. Mining projects last for a long time. We create new jobs. We create generations of new jobs. We hopefully improve public services through not only building infrastructure, but redistribution of tax revenues. What do I mean by that? Mining companies don't set tax policy. What I mean is that the areas that face the greatest hardship, both the regions and the periphery of Europe, for example, are the areas where most mineral deposits exist. And it is those areas that will see greater fiscal benefits as a result of the development of our industry. We can produce jobs all over Europe, here in Greece, in Sweden, in Finland, on the periphery even further. We need to double our production of metals in Europe. We need to reduce the share of our imports from countries where life is harder, where the democratic principles that bind us together are not currency, where social issues are immense. We need to act both in terms of what we buy and deal with conflict-free minerals and confront the issues of supply, but also replace that supply with our own production. We can sermonize, we can theologize as much as we wish about what is green and what is desirable, but we cannot and should not export our problems elsewhere. We as supposedly a civilized society, as a group of responsible, forward-looking nations, can and should do better. We need to promote our own industries and develop their applications. We need to go forward. As I've said several times, either we implement 2020 or we don't. The aim is to increase industrial production by a significant amount. We are not succeeding yet. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean to paint a bleak picture. What I mean to say to you is that Europe has the ability to go forward. We just have to be brave enough to seize it. Thank you very much.